how do you consider local and regional factors in the delivery of your services? And that reminds me to ask what industries you all work in. So how does industry specific and how does region specific service factor into what the Bud Group does?
Everybody's got different needs, and everybody has a different reflection on how they go to market or the area that they're in. The needs of our customers in Nashville may be different than those in Winston-Salem or Charleston, South Carolina. And certainly there was governmental interventions and rules and guidelines around masking and other specifics for COVID that varied by state. But there's just sort of a different mix of life, and there's a different approach to life in each one of those markets, and we need to reflect that. Our business strategy, our marketing strategy, our sales strategy really dials in on that local flavor to really understand those customers' needs, the outcomes that they're looking to get. So that uniqueness to a market is critical. Nashville, you guys have been in Nashville for how long now?
Oh yeah, I've been here since the '90s. I'm a longtime Nashvilleian. Yeah.
And that is it. You're a long-term Nashvilleian, somebody who just moves to Nashville. And there are a lot of people moving to Nashville. They're not quite yet part of that fabric, right? And you really need to build and understand that market and get into that fabric of life to be welcomed by customers, employees, and it takes some time. But it also takes understanding that that marketing approach for your market is going to be different than Charlotte or Raleigh-Durham or Greenville, South Carolina.
That's good. So you're not saying this, but something that's being demonstrated by your answer is a lot of humility and empathy, sort of being perceptive to what's going on in that market and thinking about how it's going to change, and again listening to those needs. So kind of like what we talked about before, with flexibility. It's really about just understanding what's unique. And I know for you all with the healthcare industry, you all do a lot of work that's really you all were essentially in the thick of it in the fight with COVID. It's creating safe spaces for stuff that just had to keep going. So to me, that's interesting and is very much kind of an industry factor for you all.
Yeah, different folks have different needs, and if it's a manufacturing plant that needs to be driving their product line throughout the COVID pandemic, we had a solution for that. If it was a school that chose to bring kids back and they needed to have some sort of scenario where they took care of ill children or students, like in a higher education facility, we help them solve for that as well. And again, customers need to know that you are putting them first. It's like dating. Bad dates happen when you talk all about yourself. And certainly my wife didn't marry me because I was talking about myself. I found out all about her on our first date.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a really good kind of, that's the pull quote right there. I can just tell you that's going to go on the social media post.